What's up, guys? Sean from SK Cycles and Bikes and Beards. This happens all the time. Not all the time. It happens enough. I like for it to happen more often. We get a phone call from a guy that watches our YouTube channel.
Let's go.
He's like, hey, I got an interesting bike. Maybe you guys might be interested in it. He tells us what it is. A 125,000 mile Kawasaki Concours. It looks a little bit like this. Looks exactly like that. I love these bikes. I've been a big fan of these bikes for a long time. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll see that I've been a big fan of these bikes. I love this bike. What a great bike. I love this bike. So he wants to sell it to us. Now, this is a tricky situation because it's a hard bike to price out. It's a really, really hard bike to price out. So we got to figure out, I don't want to rip him off. I want to get a good deal. This bike has much more value. Change one digit on the odometer, it has a whole completely different value. Maybe 5,000, 4,500 bucks maybe. Still, even at that price, for a 10,000 mile bike, there's still a great value for your buck. This guy came in last week. We got it all on film. We're going to show you the negotiation process. This is pretty interesting stuff. We do end up getting the bike. Let's go check it out.
Hey, Sean.
How's it going?
How you doing? Jerry Oliver.
Sean.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Harrison. Nice to meet you.
Buddy?
Caleb tells me this is a special bike.
Sorta. Yeah, it was the first one sold in Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah. Second one sold on the East Coast. Ended up getting it from Two Jacks up in Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
Called them up and said, "Did you guys get one yet?" "Oh yeah, one sitting on the floor. Anybody want it?" "No, not yet. I'll be up tomorrow." So I traded a 2000 Concours. That had 60-some thousand on it when I traded it. So I got this on July 7th of 2007. Yeah, she's getting close to needing tires again.
Yeah.
She's on her 26th pair of Michelin tires.
Holy cow.
Yeah, she went from Pilot Road 2s, 3s, 4s. I didn't get into the 5s yet because so now I got an 08 Gullwing with a full Monty traction system on it, and I'm double dark side in that baby and getting
Double dark side.
Double dark side. Yep, got a BT45 rear tire up front and a Bridgestone run flat in the back, and the handle's almost as good as this.
How many miles are on this?
124,700 miles.
Wow.
So this thing maintained pretty well.
Yeah, I run AMSOIL in it ever since it was new. And I mean, little things are, you want to take it for a ride, you go, sure can.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm prejudiced with this, but the way I have the Gullwing set up now, boy, that thing's tough to beat.
Have you ridden any of the BMWs?
Sure. Yeah, both my buddy. I had one that had a 16 and another had a 13. And I like the 16s.
16's powerful.
Yeah,
Not as powerful as this.
No, you wait till you feel this. This doesn't feel. This isn't going to feel like no 120,000 mile motorcycle.
Yeah? Yeah, I'll check it out.
He's going to come back and love it. That'll be his new sport touring bike there.
Well, he's into high mileage stuff, so he might have a 100,000 mile Road King and a 100,000 mile Concours sitting in his garage.
This guy said he ran AMSOIL in its whole life. Now, with these things with good miles, 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles, whatever, they don't sell for much. We sell them for like 4,500 bucks. I have no idea what he's gonna take for this bike. I don't even know what I'm gonna offer him. Let's swing back around. Let's figure out if we can make an offer, figure out if we can make a deal.
I put more money into the Gullwing suspension than I could get for that bike. And it actually handles almost as good as that now.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone else has that dynamic suspension or whatever it is. The
Traction dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go with their Mega Monty, they changed the triple tree, the steering head, fork brace, Adirondack. Cats. When I say I go there, I mean,
Yeah.
Feels great.
Ain't she fun?
Feels good. Yeah, these are great bikes. I love them. All right, so now the negotiation process is gonna start. My goal is to get him to say the first number because it's potentially less than the number that I'm thinking of. And if that's the case, this is gonna go better than I thought it would. He, of course, knows this, so he counters me by saying, no, you give the first number. Classic negotiating move. All right, so I'm sure you have an idea of what these things with like 20,000 miles are selling for. So they're somewhere around like 5,000 bucks.
Yep.
There's ones with like 70,000 miles selling for like 3,500 bucks.
I believe that.
What?
Just throw me an offer. I mean, I'm not, it's not really, I put new ZX14 shocks or forks up front.
Okay.
So I put them on, they were 0 miles forks and had them redone with Race Tech insides.
Okay.
So Penske rear shock. The wheel bearings have been replaced 3 times. The steering head bearings are all balls, tapered roller bearings. the pads on the freaking, this is the third set of those. I wore them off just from riding.
Wow.
You know, it's that kind of stuff.
What you just saw right there, on top of that, what he did was he started adding more value. Oh yeah, okay, it's not just Kawasaki Concours. I spent this much money doing the forks, I spent this much money doing this, and I spent this much money doing that. All just added value. Even though he spent 2,000 bucks putting new forks on it, that could be another 200 bucks that he thinks I'm gonna pay for it. So that's what he's doing right there. But all I care about is more retail value. Now it does add value to me, doesn't necessarily add what I'm gonna pay for it.
Is that from when you dropped it, or is that
No,
from you get that low?
I did one time, yeah.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was the off-camber turn too.
Uh,
So it was in West Virginia. Some of the roads in West Virginia are so tight, you can see the back of your helmet.
Oh, it's a joke. Got it. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, I see a couple of your videos where you guys are doing trips. Man, I love seeing you guys do trips. I'd love to lead you guys on a trip someday if you want.
That'd be awesome.
I take you guys on roads that nobody ever uses, and they're just gorgeous roads. I don't know why other guys don't seem to use them, but that's always been my.
That's the best.
That's always been my thing. I can go from Maine to Arkansas in my mind with no. They call me GPS Jerry.
Really? I sometimes use a GPS to get home.
I like to,
I'm thinking I gotta be in that like $1,200 range.
yeah. Well, I'll think about it. I mean, that's not really way out of base. I mean, you got to make some money too. I understand all that.
Right.
You'd be smart. You keep this for your own sport touring bike to take on trips.
That
Because you won't get a better bike for. I would take if I had new tires on this. I had no qualms taking this anywhere in the country.
I'm not gonna lie. This might go in my high mileage collection of motorcycles.
Big dead hooker bag. We used to call them before we go camping. And, yeah. And
Is that the PC version of what that's called?
yeah, kind of.
So he ended up leaving. He was gonna think about it. He's hard to rate. When I gave him the number, he wasn't like bummed out. He was kind of figuring somewhere around that number. I think we have a pretty good option. What ends up happening, a couple days go by, we don't hear from anything. He gives me a call and he's like, we take 1,500 bucks for it. 1,500 bucks? Yeah, let's do it. That sounds great. I like the bike. He's happy. For a couple $100 bucks. Now listen, this is one of those situations where could I have gotten the bike for 1,200 bucks? Maybe. I don't think he was not gonna sell the bike for 1,500 bucks, for 1,200 bucks. There was a time in my life where I would be like, no, now I'm offering you 1,000 bucks. And and by the time he brought the bike over, he'd be like, oh, these guys are jerks. And I'm happy to pay the extra couple bucks. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm maxed out at 1,200 bucks. I'm sorry, I can't do it. But in this situation, hey, a couple $100 bucks is not gonna break anyone. I was happy to buy it. I'm pumped. It's gonna be a great bike. He was gonna show up Saturday. I couldn't make it on Saturday, so the guys kind of worked with him. I'm happy to have another awesome sport touring bike. The Kawasaki Concours is one of the best sport touring bikes out there. In essence, it's built off of, when they were coming up with the design for the ZX14, this is basically a very similar thing. To oversimplify it, the differences would be this thing's shaft driven instead of belt driven because the final drive eventually will go out. This one feels perfect. He does have a box with a brand new final drive in it that he bought on eBay from a wrecked bike. He also said that he lost one of these bags on a trip one time, so the keys don't match. No big deal. And where the ZX14 handlebars would be much lower, these are much higher. And this thing has a little bit more gadgets. It's got the proximity key that's probably sitting in here. It's a big step up. It's a big step up. It's like the Denali versus the Tahoe, or the Denali versus a Suburban. It's got all the more tech. When it comes to resale, the Kawasaki ZX14s actually sell better on the used market. One of, not a big thing, but an annoying thing that's often wrong with these bikes is the TPMS sensors in the tires, and it costs a couple $100 bucks to take the tire off and replace the TPMS sensors and then connect it with the Kawasaki system so that it actually works. It's one of those things that you get, oftentimes I get these things in and it doesn't work because the guy didn't want to spend the money because he knows that he wasn't gonna get the money back if he spent the money. Both of these are working awesome. So let's get down to it. You're probably wondering, why did I buy 125,000 mile Kawasaki Concours? What's my plans for it? One, I have to put the 27th set of tires on it because that front tire is getting a little cupped. I want to make some videos with it. I want to put this thing on the dyno. I've been showing people for a while that mileage does not concern me when it comes to motorcycles. This thing's gonna run for a long time. I got no problem with that. My 100,000 mile Harley-Davidson, same thing, it's gonna run for a long time. This is probably gonna be a little cheaper to run. The one big thing I definitely want to do with this bike, I want to find someone, or if I get one in, find a low mileage, actually Buzz. Buzz has a Kawasaki Concours. I'm gonna get Buzz with his 2017 Kawasaki Concours in here. We're gonna meet up at a dyno, and we're gonna dyno his Kawasaki Concours with like 5,000 miles or 15,000 miles, and then we're gonna dyno this one with 125,000 miles and see how far off they are. Honestly, this thing's pulling pretty hard. This thing pulls pretty good. I bet it's a whole lot closer to stock. I want to prove a point. I want to prove that you can run these bikes for a long time and keep on running them and still have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is just get out and enjoy.
Cool. Yeah. No.
Make experiences, make memories. Because that's what you got later on. You can't keep them. They're going to fall apart, but the memories don't.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's cool.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Cool. Hey.
Cool, got it all worked out.
Yeah. It was awesome meeting you.
You guys too.
Cool. See you.
Great to meet you, sir.
Sure we'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm happy to say I had a great time on it, and the thing never let me down.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Never let me sit on a trip.
Yeah.
It was a great ride here.
Awesome. I'm glad. Cool. See ya.
See you guys.
All right, guys, that wraps it up. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Check out this other video right there. That one. It's a good one. You'll like it.